This dark line is actually the bottom border of this cell. Each cell has 4 borders, left, right, up and down, of course. And we just mark the bottom border. This helps you working with numbers. Let's go to the left and maybe change the height of this cell back to its normal part. Yeah. Okay. We can see the numbers over here. And let's mark a bit of their borders. Okay. So we know now how to use the lower border. But let's just mark all the numbers without the sum and the average part. And just by clicking the triangle pointing down, let's see all the borders over here. You see many versions of bordering each and every cell. The most important ones is the all border, which, well, let's see. It shows you all the borders. It marks all the borders. It actually creates a small table for you. It helps you to work with data. And when you have a variety of data and you want to mark them, well, it is really helpful. Okay, let's go back and maybe change the thickness of the border. Yeah, what happened here? We can see that the main border, which we just chose, has been thickened because there are 2 types of border: the cell border and the area you mark border. When we mark this border, and the main border right now becomes the area that we mark. So we can work in 2 ways, just by marking each and every cell or just choosing the area as usual. Okay, what else can you do? You can change the line color of your line border. Of course, the color palette is basically the same. Let's draw one over here, or this one, or this one. This pencil allows you to draw borders not only in the area you marked. It allows you also to draw it anywhere else you want to. So, by drawing, you have the draw border part of the borders menu. You can choose the draw border, and without actually pushing the button anywhere, let's just draw some borders. You can draw huge borders, you can just draw simple lines, horizontal and vertical. Okay. So let's undo these changes. Let me just within this part so we can see the John Smith. Okay, as you can see, when we within any part, like width or height, you see that the border follows. This is because you marked this cell and you want this exact cell or the exact table to be inside this column. And it will always do it like this. What else you can do with drawing borders? You can erase the border. You can see this eraser right now. And by clicking any part of these lines, this will not erase the entire column. This will just erase each and every line of these cells. So, pushing anywhere. Yeah. Okay, so for the next exercise, please do the same thing I did before. Just have some fun with the colors. Just cover the table you have in your file. Cover the area. Cover each and every of those. Then change a few colors. Yeah, let's choose a different color right now. And draw this line. And maybe this one. Okay. And also let's make a separate border over here. Okay, so please create a few borders for yourself, for a cell right next to it. Okay, let's erase this part and this part. Yeah, and please recreate this table over here. This will be verified in the certification process. Okay, next on. What else can we see over here? Well, we went over the entire font part. So you basically know how to work with colors, how to change fonts, and how to change their width and height. Also, we know how to change the borders of each and every cell. Next off is the alignment part of the Home tab. We went over the wrap text, so we know what it does, so I won't cover this again. What you can see over here are a few alignment icons. So let's go through the three in the top. As you might have noticed before, number 16 beforehand has simply vanished. Well, when I did this. This was because the alignment of this cell was a bit wrong for this height of this concrete cell. Let's go back. Let me just create this height a bit more. Yeah, and you can see that this cell is pretty high right now. Yeah, it actually is 189 pixels. Okay, let's cover the John Smith part. And let's say we want this part in the center. Not below, not too high, just in the center. Okay. Right here we can see three different icons. What they mean is the alignment, but the height of the alignment. It's either low, middle, or to the top. Let's say you want this text to be in the middle. You mark the area you want to be covered with this. Push the middle alignment, and you can see the text being in the middle. If you push the top alignment, it jumps to the top. So leave it at the middle. And let's go to the number 16 and also push the middle alignment. You can see it doesn't matter if it's number or if it's letters. Okay, next. You also seen me doing something like this, changing the width. Let's change the width of this cell. What happens right here is the width of your cell is so enormous right now. The text is aligned to the left, even though it's really big. But let's say you want it to be in the right corner. Always in Excel, it's aligned to the bottom left corner. Your text always will be aligned like this in the default settings. So, what can we do? Right now, it's in the left alignment, even though it didn't change anything after pushing this button. Let's go to the middle or to the right. So you can see the difference. It goes up, down, middle, left, right, and the middle. Okay, so leave it in the middle, and let's change the width just to work with what we have right now. Okay, this might confuse you a bit right now, because what happened? The text moved to the left. And as I said, this never happens. Well, this is one and only exception. If you change the alignment of the cell, this will happen. But if you push it to that this text will be aligned to the left line, from now on the text will not switch to the left part. This is due to the default settings, as I said before. And if you push the right alignment, the text aligns to the right border. So let's leave it at the middle and change the size of the text just to allow us to work a little bit more. Okay, leave it at 22. This is a perfect size for what we have prepared for you next. Let's maybe mark this area over here and delete everything we have here. And please notice what happens with the colors right now. I'm pushing the delete button, and this never covers neither the lines or the colors. How so? Well, when you delete something from a cell, you actually delete only the data inside the cell. You do not delete the visual settings. So to actually destroy these things, you have to go to each and every cell and maybe use the eraser for the marking, and just covering this part. You can push the no fill button and you can see that the color actually vanishes. Okay, next. What if you want all these cells to be actually just one cell? Well, maybe not one cell, but a single space in which you change all the settings. You can do this by marking the area and pushing the merge cells part. Let's push it and see what happens. What happened just now is Excel choosing the left corner cell and made all the changes from this cell to all the cells to the right. Let's undo and observe this again. This is the cell we chose, and these are the cells we want to change. Please note that even though I'm marking this one, the data is in the yellow cell. So after you mark any area, even though this is the most left cell, even though you mark this area, it will choose the settings from this cell because of the data being inside here. Okay. To go over the next part, the numbering part, we will need to insert a few extra numbers. Let's begin with 123.999. Yes. Depending on your system settings, the point will be either a comma or a simple dot. You can check this setting by going to your Microsoft Windows and checking it in the Options tab. Okay. Or you can simply push in 1.2 or 1.2. This shows you that in my system I am using the comma instead of the dot. And if this part, the 1.2 would be on the right and the 1.2 would be on the left, this would mean that this is a word and this is actually a number. Because right now Excel sees these two, this one as 1.2 and this one as just 1.2, and this is well, simply general, not even number, but just three general symbols. Okay, to go over the numbers, as you can see over here, you have the number format. Right now, all the cells are formatted as if they were in the general settings. So let's push anything else than the general. Just push the triangle to the right as usual. What you can see here is the general specific, so it means that this is non-specific. It doesn't change anything, and this is typical for all the cells in the Excel spreadsheet right now. You can change it to a number, you can change it to a currency, accounting, short date, or anything else. Okay, so let's go to the numbering part. What happened right now is, as you can see, even though I had the 122.999, it switched to 124. This happens due to the rounding up. Excel rounds up the number you are using right now and rounds it up to the closest number to be an actual whole number. Of course, you can change this by, you have to change the rounding up settings. Okay, so you see these two buttons over here. So if, as you can see, we have three numbers after the comma, and they will be always visual here, because if you do any math on this number, it will actually use this number, not the round up number. So the comma, actually the format only changes the visual effect, not the actual number in this cell. So how to show those three numbers after the comma? You have those these two buttons, so you can increase the decimal point or decrease it. So let's increase it by 1, and you can see that right now we can see them perfectly. How so? Well, basically beforehand you had only two decimal numbers after the comma. So by increasing it, Excel stopped rounding up the number for us. You can increase it much further on, but this will only give us extra zeros. And this is a great moment to explain one more thing. If the number doesn't match the cell, it will always show these hash marks. This is due to the number not fitting the icon. Excel will of course see the number as seen over here, and it will calculate any changes on this number as from this number. But in the visual effects, this just notices you that the number doesn't fit the window, and you have to within it just to see the actual number. Okay, what other options do we have? We actually can change the currency, this to a currency. So you can see 124 zloty. Okay, we can change the currency to any other, let's say English dollars or English pounds. You can see the currency being right over here, and you can switch it to any other you want. As you can see, the system right now calculates this as still as the same number. It hasn't changed, but visually you see it as pounds. And if you do any operations on this number, in your let's say you want to add this number with this number, well, what would happen? Let's see. Even though we didn't go over the adding or any more mathematical operations, I will just let you know how this works later on. But for now, let's do this. And see, it works as a pound. Because what you did is just add this number to this number. It made Excel to think that this is actually a money format for both of them. So it switched to accounting. But if you go to currency again and go to general over here, you can see that this adds up with this part. If we switch back to general, yeah, okay. Okay, and as for usual, please mark the data anywhere else and do these changes for some of your numbers right now. Okay, what else? Please note that there's a difference between the currency and the accounting. The accounting allows you to do mathematical variations on the money, so you can divide, you can increase it by adding or whatever. But the currency, it's just the first cell setting. Accounting allows you to do math on money. Okay, what else? You have the short date, long date, and time. Well, you probably get the idea how it works right now. So I will leave this with you, because we would have to go through each and every one of these, and this would take way too much time. So for the next exercise, just mark, do a different setting of, just do a different setting for the number format of a few of these cells. Just pick them, one under the other, and see what happens. Change the currency for at least one of them, and do the same. Okay, let's go over two more buttons we have over here, which is the percent style and comma style. Let's go back to our number and push the percent button. What this does is actually converts the data, as you can see over here, to percent. This changes the data's value. This doesn't show anymore as a number, this shows as a percent. So please remember that if you change the visual effect of this to percentage, this also changes the value itself. Let's redo. Undo, and let's check out the last button for the numerical table, the comma style. Please note what happened right now. So what it did is rounding up our data. So it changed the comma style by rounding up the numbers after the comma itself. Okay, so this basically covers the number part. Just to remind you, please remember that you also always have this button, which allows you to see many other options right here for formatting the cells. As you can see, this covers most of these areas, which is the font part, which is the alignment that I talked about earlier on, and which is the numerical part, which is over here. And you can see what it does. You have the description, so please spare some time and check this part. Let me remind you that the Home tab is the most important one if it comes to visual effects. This is actually the most important one, and it will help you to work with Excel more fluently just by working with this ribbon tab for a bit more time. So if you spend more time right now, this will help you work with this later on. Okay, so this covers the lesson 2. We went over the clipboard, font, alignment, the numbers. I showed you how to work each and every one of those, but please remember that these are really very important regarding text edition. So thank you very much, and I'll hope to see you in lesson 3.